Ron is focused, he is principled, he is results driven. And in short, what I love most about Ron is he gets things done.
Earlier this month, Ron DeSantis received the endorsement of Iowa's Republican Governor Kim Reynolds. Now he has the backing from a prominent evangelical leader known as a kingmaker in the state. Iowa evangelical leader and president and CEO of the conservative group, The Family Leader, Bob Vander Plaats, joins us now. We appreciate you joining us on the eve of a holiday, Bob. Happy Thanksgiving in advance. But let me ask you right away the big question. What motivated this endorsement? DeSantis has said Donald Trump can't win a general election. Do you think Donald Trump can't win a general election?
I believe he's our highest risk of winning a general election. So what motivated the endorsement is we've had a front row seat to this for now well over a year. Governor DeSantis has had my attention right away because he won in Florida, a toss-up state, and won it big, and won in demographics that we rarely win in. And he's been a bold and courageous leader, basically modeling what Governor Reynolds here in Iowa has done. And so he's really, I've warmed up to him for a long time, but then at our Thanksgiving family forum, there's about a 3 to 5 minute clip where he really laid out the reason for his candidacy and for his support. And it sealed the deal for me, so I thought, why wait? Let's go in before Thanksgiving and make the endorsement.
One of the things the former president has said in so many words on social media is that your endorsement is because Governor DeSantis donated that money to your organization, nearly $100,000. How have you been responding to that criticism?
Well, first of all, I find it somewhat laughable that the one guy that would like to buy my endorsements now accusing of my endorsement being for sale. Governor DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, Tim Scott, all of them participated in, say, promotion in booklets or access to dinners at our events, those type of things. The IRS, Scott, is very clear. We cannot give that to them. They have to buy that. So they did that. But that in no way influenced my endorsement decision. Governor DeSantis earned this endorsement. He didn't buy it.
We look back at the 3 endorsements you've made in 2008, 2012, 2016, all successful. Mike Huckabee, Rick Santorum, and Ted Cruz all won. In this case, you're not endorsing somebody who's likely to win. You're endorsing somebody who's likely not to win. How do you change that dynamic?
Well, first of all, Scott, every one of those that you just mentioned, Governor Huckabee wasn't supposed to win either. He's supposed to get crushed by Mitt Romney. Rick Santorum, nobody thought he could win. He should have been crushed as well. And then Ted Cruz was supposed to get crushed by Donald Trump. All 3 went on to win. I'm taking a look at the dynamics in the state of Iowa. I think it's tailor-made to deliver for Ron DeSantis on caucus night, January 15. I look at the historic endorsement of Governor Reynolds, her putting her thumb on the scale. I think a lot of Iowans are seeing what America is soon to see. This is the most important election of our lifetime, 2024. We need to find a candidate who can win and lead on day one, be a bold and courageous leader. Donald Trump would be a lame duck leader on day one. You need to have a candidate that can surround themselves with the best and brightest people. Nobody is going to want to work for Donald Trump. They've all been sued into oblivion. He doesn't have their back when they get sued. So therefore, you need a 2-term governor who has a bold and courageous spirit who can win a general election, and we believe that's Ron DeSantis.
Your endorsement notwithstanding, Bob, what are we to make of the polling that indicates strong evangelical support in Iowa for Trump?
Well, first of all, I think they know the president, and they probably like what he did. But now I think they're seeing that's going to be time to turn the page. In Iowa, the poll number I saw, Scott, was like at 43%. That's a former president in a Republican caucus. That's not a good number for him, and I believe that's his high watermark. If he gets down to 35, 37%, I think it's very doable that Ron DeSantis can beat him on January 15.
Let me ask the broader question, Bob. As somebody who's endorsing and somebody who's heard from the candidates, what do you think happens if Trump takes office again in January 2025?
Well, one is I think he's just going to be under constant indictment, under a constant cloud. I believe he'll continue to have a vindictive spirit. His whole campaign has been about a vindictive spirit. And now even going after a very popular governor, Governor Kim Reynolds. The 2 governors that have delivered for this country, what was supposed to be the red wave in 2022, was Ron DeSantis and Kim Reynolds. Both of them he is relentlessly attacking just because they don't support him. They want to give America a choice. And I think not only will he have a lame duck status, not only won't he be able to surround himself with the best and the brightest people, but I think it's going to be a constant cloud of indictment. I think our country needs to move on. We need to turn the page with the next generation leader.
Would you back him if he won the nomination over DeSantis at the end of the day?
You know, yeah, that's a question that we need to discuss then, because there is so much that's fluid right now. My focus right now is getting Ron DeSantis over the finish line in the state of Iowa so we can present America a choice and then allow America to make that choice.
Bob Vander Plaats from Iowa. We really appreciate you giving time to us today. You have a great holiday.
Yeah, you too. Happy Thanksgiving.